Alrighty, so today we're going to try looking at E17, his review again. First time I didn't have sound, so that's kind of hurtful. So if we go back to comp, this guy ends up going Reinhardt, so you end up with 3 DPS, which is okay, double healer, which is great, and then you have a big shield, fantastic. People always talk 2-2-2, but it's 2 CP and 3 DPS can really help make them struggle with the choke, just through the kind of sheer amount of damage you throw at them, especially with the nature that Anubis plays out to be.
Hello.
So this trap I really don't like, and there are better options for you to do with traps. When you throw out your trap to you, it shows up like normal above ground, but to the enemy team it actually sinks into the ground quite a bit until it's just the teeth and the mechanism that show up. And so when you're using your traps, you really don't want to use them on any kind of slanted surface because they kind of stick out at a really odd angle, and so they become incredibly obvious to spot for the enemy team and incredibly easy to avoid. You want to throw your traps somewhere where it will screw them. And so your traps can be used as scouting and as kind of a slowing down mechanism. And what I mean by that, by scouting, is say you know they have a Sombra, but you don't know where she is at the moment. If you throw a trap right here, and you're fighting, and their whole team's over there, and all of a sudden your trap is destroyed, well then you know someone is over here. Right, it might not be the Sombra, but at least you have an idea of that. So that's how traps can be used to kind of scout out information to let you know what's going on. But an early trap is a good idea. People joke about it all the time, but the spawn door trap always seems to freaking work, especially down in silver. But actually, good locations, not just meme spam the door. If you throw them right here, your trap. Kind of like this. You can then throw your trap over here, and so when they come up, it'll be kind of blocked. You can kind of see it a little bit, but they have to be really looking for it. They're mainly going to be focused on what's happening up here, what you've got, what you're running. Then they're going to come over here, and they're going to trigger the trap. You're going to have your mine here, so when you dead it, free damage, right? And then whatever's trapped is stuck in place. You can just spam it out. Another very good spot is kind of in here in this corner, with a mine somewhere up on the ceiling, because as they come in, if they decide to go right, they're going to be looking up here. So whatever weapon they have, that is going to be blocking them. It's not until they look all the way down here that they're even going to see it. So whatever comes up here will probably trigger the trap. They'll eat a mine, and then you'll be able to spam them out. Ideally, as Junkrat, what you want to be doing is not only spamming them, but you want to be kind of guiding them into this right room. This right room is absolutely fantastic to punish enemy teams with as Junkrat, right? Once they're in here and they're pushing, you have so many options. You can just go right here and just spam them from behind, and then the rest of your team sandwiches them. You can jump up here, spam straight down onto them. Oh man. From this platform, you can just spam over this little ledge, which does big damage to them. And depending on where on the wall you're spamming, depends on what kind of bounces you get. You can jump up here if you're not dyslexic like me. And from up here, you can spam off of these walls, and then spam off of these walls. So when they first go through, you want to spam off these far ones, right? Because then they bounce pretty much right at the door. And then as they start getting up in this, you can spam off of this. You can spam lower if they're closer. You can spam up here if you want to get their healers, which are normally jumped up right around here. From here, you can also kind of drop a trap right in the middle of their team. Now this isn't ideal because it is right by the stairs, and so they will see it, but if their Rhine is already through, they won't really be expecting a junk trap to drop on their head. And then you can continue to do damage. And then if you take damage, you drop back to your team. Continue, you can throw a trap just right in front where they kind of have to walk into it, or they have to deal with it. And then you can also even spam from down here. If they have, say if they have a widow, or someone who's like a pharaoh, someone who's really giving you trouble that you can't deal with, you can just kind of sit down here and spam, right? You're kind of safe. If widow moves up here, then you're screwed. But that's when, if you have time, you can throw a trap in here. That way you have some kind of presence. You don't have to rely on your team calling out anything. Another spot you can go to is up here. This is good if you are respawning and you still haven't lost the point. But you know they're up here. You can kind of jump up here and then just start spamming them from behind where they don't expect a Junkrat to show up from. But there are a lot better trap places you can be using that make a huge difference in gameplay. Being trapped repeatedly is incredibly frustrating because you can't move. And then the Junkrat knows and he shows up and he just goes, "Hoi doi," and then you eat a bunch of pipes and you're dead. Or you have to waste your resources to not be dead. So your diva will use up her defense matrix, Ryan will be using up his shield health, things like that. So all in all, not a big fan of that mine, and then also, or trap, and then not a fan of the fact that you had to use a mine to get back to your team. So they have a Pharah, but you have 2 hit scan and an Anna. So hopefully that's not too much of an issue. Well, so if you heard that, you could hear the Mercy was going for the res. Right, because your Ashe or McCree, one of them, picks off the Pharah. Ashe does, right? So, 99% of the times, the first player that dies, the Mercy is going to bot 2 and res. As you get higher up, that changes, but especially when they have a big old Rhine shield right in front of them and they feel safe. But, so you can hear that little like noise. That means Mercy's going for the res. You could have lobbed a mine, not even to kill her, just to displace her and cancel the res, which would have bought your team time. So again, trap placement's not great because the Rhine is going to see it. It's right on the stairs. He got it with a fire strike while also fire striking the rest of your team. Good knockbup on the Rhine. And good healing by your Anna there. Alrighty. So this is a very bad spot to be as. Against a Hog, against a Rhine, and against a Pharah. Because while you can damage the Rhine and you can damage the Hog, that Pharah is just going to destroy you. So what you want to do is just get the hell out of dodge. Right, sit back here, you can spam the Rhine. You're a lot harder for the Rhine to do any damage to. Spam the Hog. Unless he hits a hook, you're pretty much safe up here. And if the Pharah wants to get you, she has to get a lot closer. And anywhere she flies to will be in range. You have this health pack for safety to retreat to. Right, your Anna I think is somewhere over here from where the shots were coming from. And then if they're kind of right below you and you're struggling to hit them, you can just jump to the other high ground. Right, and then start spamming this point from here. You don't do well as Junkrat at a kind of longer range when you're not spamming if they have a lot of space. So when you're down here, you had the Rhine, and he's kind of in this tiny choke, so either he's going to eat shield damage or he's going to eat damage, which is fine. But like up here with the Hog being able to move and how far he is, you're not going to do much. And then against that Pharah who's all the way over there, you're literally not going to do anything. So try to get to a point where you're minimizing how exposed you are, and just kind of, spam at the Rhine. Okay, Rhine is hurt. Spam at the Hog, etc., etc. And then maybe like throw a trap. Probably not there. That's a bad trap. It's good for scouting, and if you recognize when it gets destroyed and you know someone's there, you can just kind of turn and start spamming this. But you could also throw it like right here, where it's a lot more hidden. Where if they see you and just kind of press W, they'll get trapped, and then you murder them. But all in all, you really don't want to fight on point. If you're going to be on point, you want to be over here, where you have this nice big cover, and you just kind of want to peek out and shoot, and then hide, and then peek out, right? Or you want to be in here, but this isn't as good because you have to peek a lot more. And so you can do it kind of that way, where you're playing very safe. You're not using up a lot of your team's resources because you're playing near health pack, so your healers can focus on keeping up your hit scan against the Pharah and keeping up each other in the run. So you're minimally using resources, which is always a good thing for your team, because the less resources you use, the less you have to rely on your team. So that trap actually got the hog, and the main reason for that was you kind of threw it just willy-nilly when you were running away from the hog. But if you look from the hog's point of view, if he's pushing, he's not going to see it until he's already in it. I think it actually ended up right here. And you might think that's a horrible trap. It's right in the middle of nowhere. But the ledge actually protects it for most of it until you're right here. So if you commit to a jump, like, you're in, right? And so then you wanted to spam him out, but the big Rhine was there. I would have said go for it and hope that your healers keep you alive, because chunking down that hog would have been good, but I can understand not wanting to die to the Rhine either. So the Rhine dies, and then you just start spamming out the hog. Easy. Alright, the Mercy just res someone. So you start spamming the little hook that chokes always. So the first mine was good, in that it displaced him, it kept him from retreating, it did it. The second mine was kind of just a, I hit him with a mine, let me hit him with another, ha! You know, and you, especially when you have a Pharah and other things, and you don't have a big shield in front of you, you want to try to keep one mine for mobility to get you out of shitty situations. So there, I don't know why you dropped down. You could have been spamming this exact same angle from up top, and now you would have had a Rhine shield. But, you know. Alright, so they decide they're going to go left. So you rotate. This is good. Staying down here, not so good, but I guess you don't want to burn through your mine. This trap I really don't like. I don't quite understand it. Right here. So you come back to point, and then what is this gonna do? Who is this gonna catch? If you catch anyone right here, you're already dead. You'd be much better saving that for up top when you jump up here, throwing it near the doorway and slowing down someone from getting into the fight. Right, but now you get up here, you don't even have your trap for another 5 seconds. You get hooked. You hear them ult, you hear them res, you kind of just hide. Ult. You have ult, right? Moira is incredibly tricky to get with your ult because she has her fade. The only time Moira cannot fade is if she uses it and it's on cooldowns, which is hard to keep track of if no one on your team is calling stuff like that out, or when she's coalescing. When she's ulting. She can't fade or anything. She has a slightly increased move speed, but she has no vulnerability. So you can use your ult here and really mess them up, because this is a tiny little box. I actually think you can... Can you get your mine? No. I actually think you can spam into this from down here, but I'm unsure, because it's a very tight angle. Yeah, so, but either way, they're up here. The Moira's ulting, they have a hog up there, probably a McCree and a Mercy, right? So you can just climb with this up here, check for a second, just wait, it'll go quiet, they'll think it's gone, show up, destroy him, right? Or, there's multiple options on what you can do. That's option A. That's a a little bit more aggro, but it's also quicker, so they have less time to react, hide, and scatter. Or you have option B, where you come out, down and around, and hit them from behind. This room is pretty much a death trap against a Junkrat if they don't manage to kill it in time. Because I think from this center point you do damage to almost everyone unless they're in the very, very corners. And it's enough to kill most squishies. I want to try one more thing, see if I can go over the top. No, I can't. Okay. So there is a wall there, but you can use that to buy time. But like I said, if you come in here and they're all in the corner, you just drive into the corner a little bit. So that was why I said ult, especially because this is very... You won this fight-ish because you got like a pick, and then your Moira got another pick, but then they got your Rhine, so it's better to kind of end this decisively and stop that Moira from doing any more. So the Rhine comes in, so you start attacking. That's fine, you get in. Hog decides to try to 1v5. Alright, and then you've got Farah just kicking your butt.
That's interesting. Damn it, I forgot.
You whiff, happens. I just miffed like a million mines trying to get into this top area, so I can't really judge you for that. So that Farah's gotten 2 picks. One of your healers and one of your hit scans, so you need to be playing very safe here. You don't want to be in this open area where you're just going to get murdered. Alright, big tire. What's most upsetting about that is that was that trap that I really talked shit on that caught that Moira. But we'll ignore that for now. So this play I like, even though it doesn't work out well for you. You move up to take space to get into the good position, so that when they re-push, you're in a good position to fight that off. It's just kind of unlucky that you ended up getting murdered. It happens. I wouldn't feel too bad about that. So Anna McCree clean it up. Your Farah Soul holds Ash.
I can get the point. Just get me there. Come on. No.
Alright. Little secret here. We're going to show you the back route. Okay. So you're coming back from spawn, and you want to get back here. But you can't make this jump, and you're all out of mines. Jump over here. Jump over here. And then if you want, you could also use these crates, and since they're explodable, your grenades will detonate on impact. It only works once, but you can use that to get up here without using any mines. So, secret tip for you. Alright, so now you're up here. I don't like this. You didn't need to drop until the soldier started touching point.
Dude.
That's unlucky.
Come on, McCree. Why'd you roll into him?
Alright, so this is pretty much going to be lost. You guys are just hardcore trickling in, which is fine. You do run down the clock, which is good. But try not to use any ults. Try to recognize that you're just going to trickle in. And you get pinned. Unlucky.
Okay.
I wouldn't have never had high expectations going into that fight, watching people die one by one. You did what you could. You tried to build some ult charge. Nice fixed Rhine charge. Alright. Now, first time I watched this, I actually don't think you losing second is your fault. But, after thinking about it all day, I do think your positioning could have been better. And so, I'm going to let this play out, and then I'll explain what I mean. Because I don't think this lasts very long. So already, balls deep, balls deep. Rough. Gets a pick, so that's good. But still balls deep. Get 2 picks. Awesome. But still balls deep. So, again with the traps on the stairs. Already covered it. Don't do it. There's better spots for you to be throwing traps. Especially if you're trying... because this is mainly going to be a scouting trap. It's not going to be there. Like, you're not going to kill anyone with it. So you can throw it up here, where it's kind of hidden a little bit more out of sight. But the better spot is actually right here, like by this pillar. So they don't see it, they come up, they come to peek, and then they get eaten. But you kind of go really far in here to throw down your trap, then really far back. I mean, you're unlikely to get anyone, so just kind of yeet that, throw it out there. You've got some knowledge on if anyone's trying to push right, because they'll probably destroy it. So then you can stay in the fight for longer. Now, what I don't like is that your team is very aggro, which is not good. But I don't like that you're sitting way back here. Because yes, you can spam wherever they're coming from. They're such lobs that they're not good spots. So being up here is really good for Junkrat, because you can just kind of go and kind of lob these into people who are trying to push from this way. You can lob them off of this there. You can lob them off of, you know, here to get it into the choke. You can even lob them all the way across, right? So up here is very good. It's very safe. It's not fully safe, but you do have this pillar to work around. You do have this height. If you get hurt really bad, you can drop down to this, steal this health pack real quick, and then get out, right? And then you're down under here, and then you can spam them into this. Junkrat is one of the unique heroes in that you can do damage while being completely hidden from view from the enemy team, because you're one of the few characters that has a projectile that has an arc. So you can kind of sit back and spam over, and if there's someone on the other side of that, they cannot see me to do damage to me, right? So you kind of want to be in a position where you can spam, but also do so with cover. So that's actually not a great pillar for Junk. But up here is fantastic for Junk, because no matter which way they come, right, you can either go here and just lob a trap on them. You can come here, lob a trap down on them, right in the middle of them, blow them up, lob them up high. Or if they're coming on that far side, you can just spam this. Right, and then if you know what side they're hard pushing on, you can kind of come up here and just, you know, do as much damage as you want. If they push from the other side, you stay up there and just spam the crap out of them. So, I don't think this loss of second is your fault, with how things unfold and how quickly it kind of snowballs. Spoiler alerts. But I do think had you been in a more aggressive position, it would have slowed them down enough that maybe your team could have stabilized. Because you waste a lot of time on this trap. Like, let's see this. So you're here at 348. You decide to place this trap. You come over here, throw down the trap, leave, come back, leave, come back, throw down the mine, leave, and you're back in the same place. 14 seconds to do that. It's too much time. You could have just kind of yeeted it over there as like a, you know, an indicator, gone back and moved up onto this platform or moved up onto this wall. So monkey jumps in, gets slept, gets woken up. Alright, so you jump up to get to maybe go after the Junkrat who's ulting. That's fine. The soldier ults, so then you don't want to do that because he'll murder you in open thing. Good decision there. And then he kind of murders you with his ult anyways. Like I said, I really don't think the second point loss is entirely on you. But that certainly didn't help. Right? What killed your Rhine? Because your Rhine was on point. Did your Rhine just beef his charge on the Winston? He did. And then he gets charged all the way to spawn, so then he goes into spawn to try to heal. Yeah, I would say that was more on your Rhine for solo shadowing their Rhine who was balls deep in your team instead of holding the point, but again, not much you could do there. I'd say maybe in a more aggro position might have slowed down their Rhine and or Monkey, but I think you would have lost that regardless. So you swapped offense, you picked Zarya. You end up having a Rhine partner, and I think an Anna. So you get Rhine. Alright, you got Zen Moira. That's still not bad. The synergy between this team is fantastic. Right, like right here, plus right here, all has fantastic synergy, right? Ryan and Zarya complement each other very well because you can get charge off Ryan while he's shielding. Ryan can be a little bit more aggro while still being protected because of your bubbles. McCree will punish anyone who gets close, and you guys want to get close. So once you get in close, they get punished by the stun. Moira wants to heal a big group of people, which you guys can be. And then Zen will add a discord onto whatever you guys are all attacking, so all of you do 30% extra damage. So really good synergy in this comp. Ashe is okay because Ashe can challenge the high ground and deal with any snipers. And her ult is pretty darn good. So the one thing that's really, really crucial is that you and your Rhine are on the same page. In a solo queue environment, this is very hard to do, but you need to have your Rhine's back, and your Rhine needs to trust you. And the other thing that needs to happen is you two need to be communicating constantly, right? You need to, the Rhine needs to let you know which way he's going to push. Do you guys want to go left? Do you want to go right? Do you want to go straight to point and just fight there? I don't know. No one said anything. The other thing is, you're projected. If you're fighting with your Rhine, you need to give him a time frame of when you have it. In silver and gold, this won't make much of a difference, but once you start getting to plat, where people do communicate, this is such a lifesaver to a Rhine who knows, okay, in 3 seconds I'll have bubble. I can go for a short charge, I'll be safe. Or I can, fire strike and not get hooked. Things like that. So you always want to be communicating. And you always want to be with your buddy, right? He is your battle buddy. Alright, you guys eat free damage. That junk probably got a nice amount of ult charge for literally doing nothing. Battle buddy. Be with your Rhine. This is stupid. If they want to do this, let them do it. No skin off your teeth. They have a Lucio, a Junk, a Narissa, and I think you've heard a Hog shotgun by now. He is eating a lot of damage. His shield will not last long against this comp. You have to move and move with a purpose. So the second he shows up and he's eating all this spam, bubble him. Because the quicker you bubble him, A, it gives you a workable amount of charge. Because a Zarya with 0 charge is basically tickling people. A Zarya with 40 charge, respectable. Right? But the sooner you use it, the sooner you have it on cooldown. Right? And then once you're at 40, you can use your bubble. step in front of his shield, eat some damage. Boom. Now you're at 80 charge. Now you're a threat. And your cooldowns have started. And so you kind of have to play safe without your bubbles, but at the same time you have 80 charge, so you're much more helpful to this Rhine. So you don't bubble him straight away, so he drops down to like 200 health. Actually, I think he drops down to like 150. He went from 500 to 150 in half a second, right? And so that bubble needed to be a bit more preemptive. Boom, you're at 80 charge. 7-second cooldown there, 10 seconds there. Your Rhine's already lost his shield. He came up to the choke at like 346, and 3 seconds later his shield is gone. You have 3 seconds with your team to be shielded and get to where you need to go. This side is a bit rough because Junkrats love spamming this side, Hogs love spamming this side, Orissas love spamming into this side, so you're going to have to, it's an uphill battle fighting on this way. The better option is to go right side and take the high ground, especially since you have a McCree, you have an Ashe, you can spam from the high ground, and then you have that health pack up there to help keep you guys topped up. But you decide to still go over here. Your Rhine gets destroyed because there's just so much spam. He has no shield. Your Moira gets destroyed. Again, spam, no shield. There's a trap right in front of you. Alright. Here the tire. You have bubble. Bubble the tire. No one dies. Great play. Honestly, this is fine. It was a tight window, but you needed to bubble Rocket Man here. Because now your Rhine is on the other side of this little ledge, and he has no support. So an extra 200 HP from your bubble would do wonders for him. It would also allow him to survive back here longer, which gives you free time to push in while the rest of the team is dealing with that. And even if you don't necessarily push in, it can allow you to get to a safer spot. I don't like this bubble on him. You were the one that the Junk was spamming at, and then the Junk turned around to deal with your Rhine. So this bubble gets you no charge, and now it's on cooldown. Unlucky. You almost got Widow, but then she got shielded by Orisa. Rough. So you get that. The Hog has to reload. At this point, the fight's already over, so just go to build ult. You got a good like 20% ult charge from that, so that's not too bad. Honestly, that was the best you could do in a situation where you've already lost.
I don't know what the trade-off was there. God, dude, McCree fucking sucks. Nice, nice, nice. Why? Why did you rush like that?
I'd have bubbled him.
Why did I?
Alright. Kind of already lost this, but this is the right play on your part. You see the Orisa shield go down. You have high charge. Let's go back. You're at full health. You have your bubble. So you push through. This is a good play. Your Moira doesn't back you up, and so you die. And that's the thing. Zarya without bubbles and without heals dies a lot quicker than a lot of people would expect. Zarya needs two things to be deadly. One is people to eat damage with their bubbles, and two is healers to keep her up. If she has those two things, you can absolutely melt enemy teams. But unfortunately, your Moira doesn't big ball this play. I don't know if she was trying to keep the Zen up who got caught in the trap. But either way,
Where the
that wasn't on you.
fuck are our healers, dude?
Because if you look, your Moira is actually still right here. So, one of two things. She got scared, or she didn't know that her healing piss doesn't heal through the shield. We can hope it was just an innocent error if they don't know that they can't heal through the shield. Alrighty. Now, the issue with the Ashe McCree cop is you don't really have good follow-up to your Grav, especially because your McCree has been getting rocked, so I think he's only at like 60%. So you don't have anything that can really take advantage of your Grav. You don't have like Dragons or Blade or something that's just like easy win. So, they beat dropped like a fight and a half ago. Ideally, this guy shouldn't have it, because when the Hog ulted your Rhine and you, the Lucio also beat dropped. Priority should be getting the Lucio, and if possible, one more. As long as you get 2 good picks, you should have this in the bag. So you bubble, get a lot of nice energy. This could have waited. This guy's in no danger right now. If you waited a little bit to when these guys are in here, then they might have seen the bubble and shot at it, but right now it's just kind of a wasted bubble. It's on cooldown now, so you can't save him, and you got no energy from it. Hog's right there, Ripperini. Zen trances to try to save you, but unfortunately it's not enough. Or it's a little bit too late, I guess I should say. So you're getting down to the wire here. You need to tell your team to group up. The past 3 fights have all just been trickle fests of you catching up to your Rhine, who eventually dies right in front of you, and then you pushing in, and then you dying, and then your healers catching up, and then they die. Alright, here's Zen went Genji. Rough, because he's not going to build ult, you don't have enough time. What did you not notice? That's not a well hidden trap. You shouldn't eat this. Okay, you eat that bomb. Come on. You've got 3 people right here. You go to do that, but you were too late, and so when you got knocked up, you launched it into the wrong place. Then you die to the... It's too late, man. You got like no time. So you're gonna show up late to the fight, you're gonna get murdered because it's gonna be like nothing. Not much. Once you're in this OT spot, this isn't really on you. So ironically, that was actually probably your best bubble of the game, because you did it when everyone was focused on it and they were all targeting her. A couple of your other bubbles have been either too late, where they've already taken too much damage, or too early, or where the enemy team isn't even looking at the person you're bubbling. Yeah, you kind of had to run into a 5v1 because time was over. It's a good effort.